You're watching Camnet News. Thank you so much for choosing us. My name is Sharon Kalimbula. The top stories on our desk this evening: President HH tasked authorities to recover public resources. More people turn up for vaccination amid new COVID-19 guidelines. In international news, South Africa disappointed at the EU over travel ban. And in sports news, RALF RANGNICK appointed as Man United interim manager until end of the season.
Ladies and gentlemen, our beloved citizens of this great country of Zambia, yesterday on the 28th of November, the Minister of Health, Madam Sylvia Masebo, brought to our attention about the COVID measures that the government have put in place.
Members of the public shall not be allowed into public places without masks. 7. It will be a requirement for all persons to provide evidence of vaccination before entry into government buildings. Churches to only meet 3 times a week, but for only 1 hour each time they meet. Government will in this regard continue to monitor the churches and religious gatherings.
And so tonight at 20:30, join me and Dr. Nevas Mumba as we go into this discussion.
Thank you for joining us. The news in detail. More people have responded to government's call over the COVID-19 vaccinations. A check by Camnet TV at Kalingalinga Vaccination Center found a reasonable number of people queued up to take the jab. Meanwhile, Kalingalinga Clinic Outpatient Department in charge, Naomi Mpande, says the facility has for the first time in a long time recorded a huge number of people wanting to get the jab. Details in this report.
On the 28th of November 2021, government amplified measures aimed at preventing the COVID-19 fourth wave by, among other things, restricting unvaccinated persons from accessing government buildings. The UK, EU and US are among those who have imposed travel bans on southern African countries. Omicron has been classed as a variant of concern. Earlier evidence suggests it has a higher infection risk. Minister of Health Sylvia Masebo announced the measures during a joint COVID-19 situation update, where she stated that the measures will come into effect on November 30th, 2021.
Road border ports, sea entry points, and illegal entry points. 2. All travelers coming from high-risk countries will be quarantined for 10 days in designated.
The newly introduced restrictions have intrigued the demand for COVID-19 vaccines that has seen the residents of Lusaka's Kalingalinga Township turn out in numbers at Kalingalinga Health Post to get immunized.
Vaccine for COVID, especially this variant which has just emerged, the Macron variant, because at my workplace it is required that each and every employee gets that vaccine to prevent us further spread the same variant. It is a requirement now. It has become a requirement, and there is no way I can deny it, because I need to work and I need to stop the spread so I can save lives and save my life also.
I heard all the time news, papers, TV news, we hear saying that please can you go ahead and vaccinate. So many people, even my family, they did it. I was the only one who didn't vaccinate. So I decided also to do it, because I was the only one in the family, my family.
And a lactating mother who has also been vaccinated has appealed to the mothers in the country to be proactive on health matters.
At a vaccine, you can breastfeeding and my doctors. And I see one paper and pass. I think I just pour la season. Vaccine is it turns 7 from
Meanwhile, the outpatient department in charge of Kalingalinga Clinic, Naomi Mpande, says the facility has since recorded the highest numbers of people getting vaccinated.
Announcement over the vaccine. There has been an overwhelming turnout for Kalingalinga. We have different people, different cadres flocking in. We are actually overwhelmed, and the response that we've been expecting for a long time, we've had that expectation met today. So far, the vaccines are available. Please, those that are not yet vaccinated, come through. We are ready for you, and we attend to your needs as you come in.
The minister further stated that travelers coming into Zambia will be quarantined for 10 days at their own cost, while local authorities and the Zambia police will continue with inspections on adherence to COVID-19 guidelines. Blessings Chakwila, Camnet News, Lusaka.
Residents of Msanga Ward of Chipata Central Constituency in Eastern Province have expressed concern over the deplorable state of the road in Chizongwe, Welala. Speaking to Camnet TV Monday, Sarah Piri, a resident of Musanga Ward, says the road is impassable, especially during the rain season. She says pregnant women also find it difficult to move at night to acquire health services to nearby health facilities. Another resident, Hazaria Piri, says despite the road connecting to one of the big schools in Eastern Province, which is Chizongwe Technical Boarding School, the road has not been worked on since 1983.
It is undisputable that roads are a catalyst to development, and the Patriotic Front administration during its tenure bragged of having delivered on the commitment on road infrastructure development, but certainly the residents of Msanga Ward of Chipata Central Constituency in Eastern Province cannot agree to that, and the burden to address the issue has become the responsibility of the New Dawn government. Sarah Piri tells us that pregnant women find it difficult at night to access health services due to the bad state of the road.
So swama kwanisha tenzofuna boma isteta ikeponzeru kuti vatikonzereko road kaishikulene umoyo wa muntu ni road so nga kuntu kuribe road nishima problem ya mapezeka maningi.
Another resident, Hazaria Piri, says successive governments have not done anything to rectify the problem since 1983, thus calling on the New Dawn administration to resolve the matter.
Because nikale kwa mbili nikakumbukira, I was very young when I was grade 1 for Walela. The road mozi, now it is becoming worse. Swaganiza sinizira because washita consider kanitani kanda kapani kusanga kumakuli school yo drama ningi Chizongwe Technical High School kumani madaba kuti swashita consider. So pempa kuti organizira buna kwambiri amene ali kusogolo kwathu organizire panjira iyi kai chifukwa kuti ichita connect ichita link na Lundazi Road kamanje kuti babwere ready so ikabwera apa swakwanisa kupita wanthu hapa, especially there tukaenda pasogolo paja pamafuta kwambiri.
The road connects one of the big schools in Eastern Province, which is Chizongwe Technical Boarding Secondary School. Meanwhile, we spoke to Walela Primary School head teacher, Milanzi Chisaka.
We are facing a lot of challenges, especially this time of the season where we have rains. It means we shall be cut off. Because when you pass through Katopola to Walela, the road during rain season is impassable. Then there's another small road which comes from Katopola Farm Institute during rain season is again impassable. Then when we see all these roads impassable, we try and also use the Chizongwe road. From Chizongwe to Walela again, the road is impassable. Generally, the road is impassable. It has not been worked on, and for some time we have been appealing to the government to work on the road. MPs.
Msanga Ward Area Councillor Alex Mwansa urges Member of Parliament Ruben Mutoropiri to lobby for a good road. Patrick Soko, Camnet News.
A chief litigant on behalf of 3,523 government retirees of 1999 has expressed disappointment in the alleged interference by the Secretary to the Cabinet in the case that is before the courts. In an exclusive interview with Camnet TV, Mr. Siachoke Simeza says that all changes that have been made on the ongoing case should follow legal procedures through the Attorney General to validate. Meanwhile, Mr. Simeza has appealed to President Hichilema to intervene in the matter and secure their money for those cases out of contention before the year ends. This is in a case of voluntary separation of retirees in 1999.
In the case of the voluntary separation retirees of 1999, the issue has been persistent since 2002, where some of the cases have received their judgment while others still pending. Following a number of mitigation processes in the courts, a chief litigant on behalf of other 3,523 retirees has expressed disappointment in the operations of the Secretary to Cabinet in the case that is before the courts currently.
So our position in this case, we are appealing to Mr. Kangwa, the Secretary to the Cabinet, to do the correct thing and stop whatever he's doing. Let him come through the Attorney General to us through the lawyers. Those people that he is entertaining, we have verified the court records. There is no one who has pulled out, no one who has signed anything. It is illegal. If those people they have appointed a new lawyer, let them come through a court process which is the Attorney General and through their lawyers and our lawyers. Because should this continue, we shouldn't be blamed as retirees because we instruct our lawyers and hook out Mr. Kango, the Secretary to the Cabinet, with the contempt of court.
Meanwhile, Mr. Sime Menza has appealed to President Hichilema to intervene in the matter and secure their monies for those cases that are out of contention before the end of the year 2021.
This case is out of contention. Our colleagues were paid about 17 million. So our request is this. As we are waiting for the budget in 2022, may we be paid something on 8%. May we be paid something, our money 4.7 on from supplementary budget. We know there are so much monies which are lying there, which needs to be recouped back to the Ministry of Finance at the end of this coming month. So out of your courtesy and out of sympathy, every day I'm burying my colleagues, not less than 2. In the province, the average is 5. Your Excellency, out of this appeal, consider paying us something before end of this year on these non-contentious issues. For these which are before courts, we will have to wait. We have no objections.
Alex Shimba, Camnet News in Lusaka.
A governance activist, Sam Zulu, has called for concerted efforts from stakeholders in order to put an end to the problem of land encroachment. In an interview, Mr. Zulu has expressed concern over the increasing widespread reports of the vice, including graveyards in some districts across the country. He adds that if not controlled, the problem of land encroachment has the potential to scare away investors. Details in this report.
Cases of land encroachment have been rife in Zambia, but reports of these illegalities alleged to have occurred during the previous regime have increased since the change of administration in August 2021. These reports include encroachment in communities on places meant for drainages, hence causing a possibility of floods to affected areas. Among other dangers, land encroachment blocks community roads, hence preventing access to some houses during catastrophes such as fires. The illegality has also been happening on public road reserves, railway lines, markets, and other public facilities. A governance activist, Mr. Sam Zulu, has called for a land audit in the whole country to ensure that all cases of land encroachment are detected and illegal structures demolished.
To find someone building a structure, a house for that matter, in a graveyard, it's unthinkable. Government should quickly move in law enforcement agencies should equally move in and deal with these issues, because there are so many cases apart from the encroachment. There is the issue of people allocating land that does not belong to them in the first place. That's the entry point they are allocating. It is at that point that the law enforcement agencies should move in swiftly. Who are the people behind these allocations?
He says there is need for relevant stakeholders to step up to the task and ensure that sanity is restored, as it is being reported in some parts of the country that this illegality is even taking place at graveyards.
The government has a huge responsibility to engage stakeholders such as the Ministry of Transport and Communication, Ministry of Local Government and Housing, Ministry of Lands. All these should be brought on board and ensure that those that are found wanting are actually brought to book. The law must be seen to actually visit these individuals that have actually been involved from time immemorial in illegal activities of land encroachments.
The governance activist says if not managed, the situation has the potential of scaring away investors from the country. Zipporah Mshala, Camnet News, Lusaka.
Infrastructure, Housing and Urban Development Minister Charles Milupi has revealed that the Patriotic Front administration was constructing one low-cost housing unit in Chasefo District, Eastern Province at 1.5 million kwacha. Mr. Milupi says a contract worth 30 million kwacha was awarded for the construction of 20 low-cost housing, which in a normal sense would be constructed at an average amount of 4 million kwacha. The minister was speaking at a workshop for cabinet ministers and permanent secretaries held in Lusaka Monday. Meanwhile, President Hakainde Hichilema has tasked relevant authorities to enforce measures that will recover public resources paid for undelivered goods and services to government.
Information made available by Minister of Infrastructure, Housing and Urban Development Charles Milupi has shown that the previous Patriotic Front government was constructing a single low-class housing unit in Chasefo District of Eastern Province at 1.5 million kwacha as opposed to 200,000 kwacha in normal terms.
The contract is for just over 30 million kwacha. These are low-cost houses, obviously averaging out at 1.5 million kwacha per one low-cost house. When you ask people and say, look, you and I know what a low-cost house is. It's a two-bedroom house with a roof on, iron roof on. If you are building it for yourself, how much will it cost? And they talk about 200,000 kwacha if it's expensive.
And President Hakainde Hichilema, who addressed ministers and permanent secretaries at the procurement workshop held in Lusaka Monday, says never again should such be allowed to occur in a country where resources meant to benefit the poor Zambians are pocketed in the bags of few selfish individuals.
Is leaking, ladies and gentlemen, ministers, permanent secretaries. It doesn't matter how much water we pour in this bucket. If the leakages are not sealed, we stand no chance to fill the bucket. We stand no chance to reconstruct this economy. Contracts were given to people who have never owned a shovel or a pick. They don't know how to construct roads. But some were paid 20% in advance. And they sit in that parliament making noise. Very courageous people, eh? I'm sure in a genetic material they were made to have Dutch courage.
The president also says sanity must be restored in the procurement of fertilizers, fuel, infrastructure and the general procurements of goods in government. He has since tasked the relevant authorities to enforce measures that will recover public resources paid for undelivered goods and services to the government.
When I'm not a contractor, I'm a public officer, and I never delivered 5 kilometers, but I got paid. That's the money which we are flashing, which you saw before elections. And I can sit in that parliament and talk. I wouldn't say a word. I'll be so embarrassed. But since shame is not shared equally amongst us, God made us differently, we have to enforce measures to collect that money.
And the Auditor General took time to highlight the findings of the 2020 Auditor General's report, which showed a number of irregularities and has made collective recommendations. Prudence Jota, reporting for Camnet TV News.
United Party for National Development Chairman for Health, Dr. Bob Sikahilu, is vying for the adoption of the United Party for National Development ticket, Kabwata constituency parliamentary candidate. The Kabwata seat fell vacant following the demise of then area Member of Parliament, Levi Mkandawile, in a road accident. A by-election will be held within 90 days, and the Electoral Commission of Zambia is expected to announce poll day.
More people continue to show interest to contest the Kabwata constituency parliamentary seat, which fell vacant following the demise of area Member of Parliament, Levi Mkandawile. Among the people who have openly floated themselves for adoption on the United Party for National Development ticket include UPND Alliance spokesperson Leslie Chikuse. Mandate UPND Chairman for Health, Dr. Bob Sikahilu, declared interest to represent the people of Kabwata constituency.
Unfortunately, the colleague that I worked with very closely, Brother Mkandawile, Honorable Mkandawile, passed away, as you all know, some few days ago, and therefore I decided this time to come on board and offer myself as a person who could represent Kabwata. I believe that I have what it takes to lead Kabwata.
He told a press conference that having served the party in various portfolios and contributing towards solidifying the party in Lusaka province, he feels is the right candidate to represent the people of Kabwata constituency.
As I've explained, I have risen through the rank and file from the chairman of Lusaka province, vice chairman, chairman, to a member of the National Management Committee now, which is our highest decision-making body, and as a chairman for the sector of health. So really, I have I've had a feel of what leadership, party leadership is in terms of UPND. So I feel that's another reason why the people of Kabwata, through you, should consider me as a candidate to represent them in the coming election.
He says he understands issues affecting the people of Kabwata, adding that skills development and job creation would be the focus of his leadership.
Following things. Number one, if you look at Kabwata today, most of our people are young people and they have no jobs. So lack of jobs is one of the problems we have today, not only in Kabwata, but even as a nation. And so we should look for somebody who is tested in job creation. And I come out as one of those who have been tested in job creations. I run a number of companies, including a school and a nursing school, and I've created jobs for over 80 people. And in our country, directly, in our country, when you have 80, you should multiply that by 5, average by every family. It means I'm looking after probably about 400 people or so.
For now, we wait until the Electoral Commission of Zambia unveils the calendar towards hosting the by-election. Patrick Soko, Camnet News.
This is Camnet News. We take our first set of commercials. When we return, we have more interesting stories. Stay with us.
This is the Rusitu Irrigation Project. It's a government project funded by the World Bank through IDSP.
The project involved laying over 18 kilometers worth of interlinked water pipes that will supply water to the 280 hectares land for small-scale and commercial farmers in Rusitu of Chirundu district. We worked on 35 kilometers of the road network and also constructed 159 concrete water hydrants of different sizes in all 3 tiers. The state-of-the-art water pumping station at the banks of the Zambezi is fitted with 9 water pumps, a dedicated concrete reservoir, a 500 kV automated standby generator, a fully automated pump switching system that is interlinked with a second reservoir of 27,000 cubic liters capacity, which is fitted with 7 water pumps, a standby generator and floater tanks for that extra water pressure on the irrigation lines. Savenda Construction is grateful to the Zambian government and the World Bank for giving us the opportunity to be part of the history of Lesotho, as the project will benefit over 282 households once completed, and is just one of the many that Savenda Construction has embarked on, owing to its track record and capacity to deliver as per requirement. Savenda, save nations, develop Africa.
Team, the trajectory of the business looks very positive, and it looks like we'll be able to launch the ministry.
There's so much data.
Mom?
Yes, baby?
It says here, global warming and climate change is caused by the pollution from careless activities of human beings.
Wow!
Son, do you know I can turn my phone into a TV remote?
How's that possible?
It's so easy. Check this out.
Be smart, be fast with mega data from Zamtel. Get your 15 GB mobile data for only 100 kwacha, 30 GB mobile data for only 200 kwacha, and your 70 GB LTE data bundle with free Netflix, YouTube, Facebook, and WhatsApp. Visit our Facebook page, website, or service centers countrywide for more information. Zamtel, your digital lifestyle partner.
Your skin is the biggest muscle in your body. That's why we make sure that Oracle is #1 when it comes to taking care of your precious skin. Oracle Pure Petroleum Jelly and Glycerin soothes, moisturizes, and keeps your skin perfect. Oracle Pure Petroleum products for that perfect skin.
Ladies and gentlemen, our beloved citizens of this great country of Zambia, yesterday on the 28th of November, the Minister of Health, Madam Sylvia Masebo, brought to our attention about the COVID measures that the government have put in place.
Members of the public shall not be allowed into public places without masks. 7. It will be a requirement for all persons to provide evidence of vaccination before entry into government buildings. Churches to only meet 3 times a week, but for only 1 hour each time they meet. Government will in this regard continue to monitor the churches and religious gatherings.
And so tonight at 20:30, join me and Dr. Nevas Mumba as we go into this discussion.
Welcome back. Thank you for staying on. The Lusaka Magistrate Court has thrown out an application by the state to order Makebi Zulu Advocates law firm to recuse themselves from representing Konkola Copper Mines liquidator Milingo Lungu in a case where he is accused of stealing 4.4 million kwacha from KCM mine. This is in a matter in which Lungu, a legal practitioner, is slapped with 1 count of theft and 1 count of money laundering. When the matter came up before court Monday morning, the state asked Magistrate Felix Kauma to order Makebi Zulu Advocates law firm to restrain themselves from representing the accused because the law firm is also representing KCM in the High Court.
Trial in a case in which Konkola Copper Mines liquidator Milingo Lungu is accused of stealing 4.4 million kwacha from KCM has commenced before the Lusaka's Magistrate Court. Lungu, who is a legal practitioner apart from being the provisional liquidator for the country's and one of Africa's largest integrated copper producer mining company, is charged with 1 count of theft and 1 count of money laundering, contrary to Section 7 of the Prohibition and Prevention of Money Laundering Act 14 of 2001, as amended by Act No. 44 of 2010 of the laws of Zambia. The state accuses him of stealing 4.4 million kwacha between the 22nd of May 2019 and the 28th of September 2021. When the accused appeared before court Monday morning, the state informed the magistrate presiding over the case, Felix Kauma, that they were ready to proceed with trial. However, before they could proceed calling their witness, they made an application to have one of the defense lawyers rescue themselves from presiding over the case on ground that there might be conflict of interest. The prosecution submitted that Makebi Zulu Advocates law firm ceased from representing Lungu in the criminal matter before the magistrate court because they were representing Konkola Copper Mine in the High Court. Their argument was that the matter before court involves Lungu being accused of stealing from KCM, hence it cannot stand for the same law firm to continue representing the accused before court. However, the defense team argued that the state was trying to take away the accused's constitutional rights of choosing the lawyer of his choice. After hearing submissions from both the state and the defense team, Magistrate Kauma threw out the application by the state on ground that there was no way the High Court case of KCM could affect the matters before his court. Hearing of the matter continues. Miriam Kaimba reporting for Camnet TV News.
Former Health Minister Dr. CHITALU CHILUFYA has sued the Anti-Corruption Commission and its then Acting Director General Rosemary Kozwayo in the Lusaka High Court, demanding damages for malicious prosecution and defamation. In the statement of claim filed before court, Dr. CHILUFYA states that in January 2021, the Commission went ahead to arrest and prosecute him on charges of corrupt practices without any evidence. The plaintiffs has submitted before the court that the Commission Acting General Rosemary Kozwayo ordered that he be prosecuted, regardless of her being advised that the investigators had no evidence whatsoever. Dr. CHILUFYA is demanding $50 million United States dollars as damages for malicious prosecution, injuries caused to his reputation, among other claims. In other news, the first Zambian Airways craft has landed at Kenneth Kaunda International Airport, ready for takeoff on the 1st of December 2021. Minister of Transport and Logistics Frank Tyali Monday hailed the aircraft and says government has welcomed the relaunch of the Airways. The minister says it is expected that the new Zambia Airways will operate 6 aircraft and carry over 700,000 passengers by 2027. The Zambia Airways is a partnership between the government of the Republic of Zambia through the Industrial Development Corporation and the Ethiopian Airlines Group. Mr. Tyali has since urged Zambian Airways to take interest in cargo freight as the SAMP sector would encourage exports and serve the business as well. You're still watching Camnet News. We take another set of commercials. When we return, we have sports and international news. Stay with us.
Ladies and gentlemen, our beloved citizens of this great country of Zambia, yesterday on the 28th of November, the Minister of Health, Madam Sylvia Masebo, brought to our attention about the COVID measures that the government have put in place.
Members of the public shall not be allowed into public places without masks. 7. It will be a requirement for all persons to provide evidence of vaccination before entry into government buildings. Churches to only meet 3 times a week, but for only 1 hour each time they meet. Government will in this regard continue to monitor the churches and religious gatherings.
And so tonight at 20:30, join me and Dr. Nevas Mumba as we go into this discussion.
This is the Rusitu Irrigation Project. It's a government project funded by the World Bank through IDSP.
The project involved laying over 18 kilometers worth of interlinked water pipes that will supply water to the 280 hectares land for small-scale and commercial farmers in Lusitu of Chirundu district. We worked on 35 kilometers of the road network and also constructed 159 concrete water hydrants of different sizes in all 3 tiers. The state-of-the-art water pumping station at the banks of the Zambezi is fitted with 9 water pumps, a dedicated concrete reservoir, a 500 kV automated standby generator, a fully automated pump switching system that is interlinked with a second reservoir of 27,000 cubic liters capacity, which is fitted with 7 water pumps, a standby generator and floater tanks for that extra water pressure on the irrigation lines. Savenda Construction is grateful to the Zambian government and the World Bank for giving us the opportunity to be part of the history of Lesotho, as the project will benefit over 282 households once completed, and is just one of the many that Savenda Construction has embarked on, owing to its track record and capacity to deliver as per requirement. Savenda, save nations, develop Africa.
Africa is rising to a new dawn of integrity and accountability. Are you tired of being swindled or buying fake or illegal properties? Would you like to sell or buy genuine property? Would you like to list your property on both local and international market? Don't waste your time. Call the professionals, the SGK Properties, on +260 762 166 018. SGK Properties. Your business assurance is our priority.
Welcome back. Thank you for staying on. In international news, South African President Cyril Ramaphosa has expressed disappointment at the European Union over what he describes as unjustified travel bans linking to the discovery of the newly highly mutated coronavirus variant Omicron.
Angelique Kutsia is the South African doctor who first detected new symptoms in patients who had contracted COVID-19. While she says the symptoms are peculiar, cases so far have been mild.
So what is interesting is that the clinical symptoms are not the same than with Delta. Extreme tiredness and fatigue. Under young people, that was how we first detected, with a bit of a body ache and pain and headache. Very, very similar to what you will normally see with any viral infection.
South Africa has detected just over 50 cases of the new variant. And in neighboring Botswana, 19 people have been infected. There have also been cases in Belgium, Israel and other countries. Scientists say it may take up to 2 weeks to better understand the variant, to determine how easily it spreads and how well vaccines work to protect people.
Because there's more than 30 mutations, it might escape the immune system, or it might escape the vaccines. What we have seen so far is people that has been vaccinated, especially with Pfizer, around who had their last shot in August this year, did contact the virus, and it's mild, very, very mild symptoms.
There are no known admissions to hospitals here of people who've contracted the new variant. What is your view then on the global reaction to this variant being detected in South Africa?
Extremely premature. And, you know, it is as if they went into a frenzy, and each and everyone out there are making a great bohai about this. And the question is, you know what, why? We have warned that we are going to see a fourth wave. We have said there will come variants. We did say that the variants will mostly come from unvaccinated HIV people who's not controlled on their medication or who've never been taking any medication. That's not something that's new.
While scientists say the variant is behind a sharp rise of cases in the Gauteng province, how the spread of the disease is managed should be carefully considered. An increasing number of experts say the lockdowns and travel bans don't work and are instead damaging economies and causing unnecessary panic. They insist the focus should be on ensuring everyone in the world has access to vaccines. South Africa, India and other countries have been for months calling for patent waivers to allow for vaccines to be manufactured around the world. So far, just 7% of Africans have received a jab.
With very low vaccine access, with the inability to be able to fully make our own vaccines and to be able to get out of this pandemic fast enough in a timely manner, with the vaccine apartheid that we are witnessing, and the stigmatization of certain countries in Africa related to the variant, this is not a good look for the global north. What we need is cooperation, what we need is global solidarity, and what we're getting in return is actually a very punitive approach to how we can actually all manage this pandemic.
2 weeks from now on, we might see a different picture. We might see a total different clinical picture from us what we're experiencing currently. But for now, we can't even say it escaped the vaccine efficacy. We can't say that.
While travel bans are often used to buy time to better understand new variants and the spread of the COVID-19 virus, some scientists in South Africa are calling it a futile exercise. Famida Miller, Al Jazeera, Johannesburg.
South African President Cyril Ramaphosa has expressed disappointment at what he calls unjustified travel bans linked to the discovery of a new highly mutated coronavirus variant, Omicron.
We are deeply disappointed by the decision of several countries to prohibit travel from a number of Southern African countries, including our own. Instead of prohibiting travel, the rich countries of the world need to support the efforts of developing countries, economies that is, to access and to manufacture enough vaccine doses for their people without delay.
Here at Hatfield Province, 90% of new cases of the Omicron variant has been detected. The new variant is believed to be behind the explosion of infections.
I use a public transport, so fear to go from one place to another.
You never really know what to expect whenever there's like new variants and whatnot, you see. So just the fear always comes back because there's a newer and much stronger one.
European member states agreed on Friday to temporarily suspend travels from Southern African countries over the outbreak of the new variant. The European Centre for Disease Prevention and Control said there is a high to very high risk the new variant will spread in Europe.
We go straight into sports news. Manchester United has appointed RALF RANGNICK as interim manager until the end of the season. PSG boss Mauricio Pochettino remains United's first choice to become permanent boss. 63-year-old RANGNICK's contract will see him take charge of the first team until June and then remain at the club for at least a further 2 years in a consultory role. United reached an agreement with Lokomotiv Moscow last week for the release of RANGNICK, who was manager of sports and development at the Russian club. Well, that item ends our news this evening. The headlines once again. President HH tasked authorities to recover public resources. More people turn up for vaccinations amid new COVID-19 guidelines. In international news, South Africa disappointed at the AU over travel ban. And in sports news, RALF RANGNICK appointed as Man United interim manager until the end of the season. We now look at the Camnet verse for the day, and it's coming from Colossians 1:13-14, and it reads, He has rescued us from the domain of darkness and transferred us into the kingdom of the Son He loves. We have redemption, the forgiveness of sins in Him. Well, thank you so much for joining us. My name is Sharon Kalimbula. Good night and keep watching Camnet TV.